What's up everyone? So I made an Asia account to test out Sayu because I wanted to see what she can do. So let's dive in to see what this tiny little sleeping ninja is capable of. I know there are a lot of people who are really excited about Sayu, including myself, so I wanted to make this initial impressions video to give you an out-of-the-box understanding of the character. And as always, a like would be super appreciated if this video was helpful. Alright, let's test Sayu. Sayu can turn into a Fufu Windwheel with her elemental skill dealing anemo damage to enemies, and she will unleash a Fufu Windwheel kick at the end of the skill dealing AoE anemo damage. Holding the skill button will keep her rolling as she uses her elemental skill, and will also unleash a Fufu Whirlwind kick at the end that is stronger than its tapping mode counterpart. Boop, cute. Alright, let's take a look at her 80,000 attack, 736 elemental mastery, 20 crit rate, 91 crit damage, 180 ER. She gets 96 elemental mastery from her level up, so these must be on her artifacts. She's got Viridescent, everything plus 20, but they don't tell us. But she's getting 664 elemental mastery from her Viridescent, so she's probably running at least 3 pieces full EM. They gave her a Favonius Greatsword for more particle generation. Let's look at her constellations now. C1 Multitask no Jutsu. Her Q will ignore the HP limits and simultaneously attack and heal. Her Q will heal you if you're under 70% HP, and if you're over 70% it will attack. So this is kind of like Bennett's. 2. Her dash gains the following effects. Damage is increased by 3.3% in the press mode, and then every half a second when she's in the roll mode, her whirlwind kick will increase by 3.3%, a maximum of 66% damage increase on that. This one is that's the Q increased by 3. Sayu recovers 1.2 energy every time she triggers a swirl reaction. Interesting. Increases her E by 3. And the last one, Constellation 6, when she's using her Q, it also benefits from her EM, so her Q is now affected by EM at C6. Each point of her elemental mastery produces the following effects. Increases damage dealt by Q by 0.2% attack. A maximum of 400% attack can be gained by this method. Increases HP regenerated by 3 per elemental mastery. A maximum of 6,000 HP can be... Okay, so these cap at 2,000 elemental mastery to get the maximum value of C6, which good luck with that. Realistically, you're probably going to get her around 700 elemental mastery. That's definitely achievable with a 3-piece Viridescent plus like a rain slasher for extra elemental mastery on her greatsword. So with that, you're looking at about 140% attack increase, or a 2100 and a 2100 rather HP increase from her heal. So yeah, you're not going to hit these 400 and 6000. Let's take a look at the talents real quick. 888. What's the skill attributes? 57, and then the press. So windwheel, this must be when she's rolling. The kick press, 200%. Hold, 350%. Windwheel elemental damage. This must be the infuse. Duration 10 seconds, 6 to 11 seconds. Okay. This skill activation, 180 healing. So this scales off her attack. So if you want to build her as a healer, you just pump a bunch of attack artifacts into her. And its damage is 83%. 12-second cooldown, 12-second duration, 20-second cooldown, 80% 80 energy cost. What are these talents? Let's see. Whenever she triggers a swirl reaction, she heals you for 300. Also an additional 1.2 for every point of elemental mastery you have. Oh, that's pretty neat. So her swirls can heal you pretty nice. No work today. Alright. The field created by Sayu will also heal nearby characters for 20% of the heal, increases the AoE of its attack against opponents. Interesting. When Sayu's in the party, she will not startle crystal flies or other certain animals when being near them. Oh, very nice. So her role, her not startling crystal flies, the fact that she's a claymore to break rocks, she's going to be very good for exploration. Talents, constellations, we've taken a look at this. Weapons, attributes. Alright, let's get testing. Whee! Alright, Sayu. So first we'll do the roll. Oh, you just have to press it once and hold it. You don't have to continuously hold it. And she just keeps rolling. Okay, let's check out her Q. It has a really big range, basically the range of Ganyu. And it looks like it attacks everything in the field for a swirl AoE. It's pretty nice. Then disappears. Let's check the press damage. Swirl. Alright, let's check it one more time. Low cooldown. So healing for about 2,000 now. Doing a good bit of swirl. Was that a 13k swirl? 3,000, 4,000, okay. And you just have to hold it and then you just kind of roll around. You don't have to continuously hold her E while you're doing it. Just hold it once and then you enter the swirl mode. Okay, and then that swirl caused the heal again. How much is it hitting for? 900, 900. Alright, so, and then that did 1400, so Sayu's not going to deal a lot of damage. She is going to be, if you want her for damage, she's going to be like an enabler. She's not built for that. And her auto attacks don't do a lot of damage either. So let's enter the swirl mode again because that's just fun. Okay. Okay, I think I got a good feel for her. Now let's check Sayu's energy generation. Obviously she is getting the Favonius plus the added particles from the trial, but let's check the press E damage and particles. So she's getting 2 particles from that. Let's check the hold next. Hold E, roll around. 1, 1. Those are HP particles. There's 1 there. And then 2 from the kick. Whoa. Q. So let's see. Is this every time she infuses she gets a particle? Those are HP particles. 2 from there. So it doesn't look like she has super great energy regeneration, but she does do a lot of swirl. I think she gets 1 every so often from a roll. Let's see, 1. So she gets 1 from the initial. 2. Get your shield back up, Abyss Mage. We need to try this again. So 1 there. 2. So it's looking like she's getting an Anemo particle from the hold roll every other time it hits. Whee. So there's the first one on the initial hit. And then another one. And then the 2 at the end. So she's looking like she's only getting 2, maybe 3 particles from the roll and then another 2 from the hit. So not a whole lot of energy generation there. And then her kick at the end. Okay. So her energy generation is not great. The fact that she's on Favonius is very helpful for this trial. So I was hoping she'd get a little bit more, maybe 3 particles from her energy generation, but it looks like she's getting a little bit less than that, although her roll is quite fun and she's getting other elemental particles from the infusion, so that could make up for potentially lower energy gain from the anemo particles she picks up. So let's talk a little more about Sayu, her initial thoughts and impressions about her kit. So first of all, her auto attack is pretty low. It is actually lower than both Noelle's and Razor's at the same level. So her level 8 auto attack right here is actually lower than Noelle's, and it's significantly lower than Razor's. Her damage is not that great. She has some swirl potential. They have her on Viridescent here too. In addition to having her with a lot of elemental mastery. I think what you're going to want to do if she's C0 or C1, anything up until C6, you're probably going to want her to just build her attack for the heal with Viridescent and just keep her like a support. And if you do get her C6, then you want to build elemental mastery, because this is going to increase the damage and the healing. This is where you're going to see a big spike when you build her EM. Otherwise, you may just want to build her attack with Viridescence. EM can be good for some of her other talents, and she does get an ascension bonus with elemental mastery, but for healing and damage, you might just want to go attack. We'll have to test a little bit further to see what is best, but that's just sort of my initial impressions. And if you have a bunch of attack artifacts, like attack, random pieces you don't want on your Viridescent set, then you can just throw them on Sayu and see how she does. Her little roll seems a lot more fun than Sucrose, and it does swirl and infuse quite a bit. And she does do the healing, so she could be an interesting enabler for other teams like Electrocharge or potentially National Team or Melt or any other team. She could be really interesting for that, so we'll have to see. Overall, pretty fun character so far, so that's the general basis of her skills. Now let's take a look at some of the other things about her. Yes, let's leave the domain. So Sayu is very cute, of course. Now, one of the things you may not know is with her name card, it is actually one of the most unique name cards we have, because if you get it, then your character profile will get this hood right there. So whenever you equip this name card, your character displayed here will get Sayu's hood right in there. So overall impressions of Sayu, very cute, very fun. She seems like she will be a good healer and she can heal for quite a lot. She has a neat support ability because she's a healer. Her damage is not very good. She is definitely no replacement for Jean if you already have her, but she will be another Viridescent unit. She is another Anemo character. She doesn't have enough energy to battery someone like Zhao, so if you get her maybe C6, then she could be a really good battery for someone like Zhao, but C0 to C5, probably not going to be that good, at least for energy generation, but she will be a good healer right out of the box. As far as how to build her, I'm thinking you build her attack first, because her healing will scale off attack, and she has really low attack right here. Her swirls didn't seem to do that much damage, especially compared to Sucrose. So I think if you want more of an Anemo damage support, you go Sucrose. If you want more of a healing support, you go Sayu. So overall, those are my general thoughts. Cool units, very interesting. I like her a lot, very cute, love this little thing. She's really fun to play as well, unlike Sucrose, who doesn't feel quite as fun to play sometimes. So anyways, good luck with rolling, and I hope this was helpful. I'll see you guys later. Take care. Now, as far as equipment and artifacts go, I think there's really only one artifact set you want to run, and that's the 4-piece Viridescent, because the 4-piece set increasing the swirl damage and decreasing the elemental resistance of the element that you swirl by 40% is just too good, so definitely run Viridescent on her. You could potentially run Maidens, but this would just be better support for your team overall, and if you really want extra healing, you could always just run one of those random healing bonus headpieces on a Viridescent instead. So for artifacts, I would farm the Viridescent. If you have Sucrose, you can give any extra pieces to her for Elemental Mastery. You can kind of swap between Sucrose and Sayu if you want. Because the good thing is, even though they use the same set, they're not exactly using the same main stat pieces. Sucrose definitely wants EM, whereas Sayu kind of wants it. She more or less wants attack. Now as far as weapons go, there's a few different choices. You could run her Favonius Greatsword for extra energy particles for your team. You could also run her on the Rain Slasher, which is a 4-star weapon that has Elemental Mastery as the substat. Or, I think a more fun way to play her would be to run her on the Sacrificial Greatsword. It also has energy recharge, but it has a chance to reset your E cooldown, so you could do your little rolley-polley, roll around, swirl, and then as soon as you come out, you can have the E reset, and then do it again. So I think that would be a more fun way to play her. A little bit similar to how Kazuha can run the Sacrificial Sword to double E his jump swirl. Now the big question is, what teams does Sayu do best on? And will she replace Diona and Bennett? And the short answer is no. Diona offers extra utility by providing a shield as well as healing as well as energy, and Sayu can do 2 of 3 of those things. She can provide energy with Favonius, she can heal you quite a bit, and she has off-field damage support, but she doesn't provide a shield, and her damage on her Q is not that great that you would want to take her over Diona for the shield. Is she going to replace Bennett's attack buff? Absolutely not. However, if you do need a Nemo support for running a resistance shred, she does fulfill that unique opportunity, so she's not replacing Bennett or Diona anytime soon, but she is another unique option for you, particularly if you need extra elemental damage or there's some sort of bonus to the Abyss with another swirl reaction or something of that nature. As far as her teams go, you could run her in any team that you would run Jean in, although if you already have Jean, she will not replace Jean. Jean just does more damage and more instant healing. But if you don't have Jean, she does make a good substitute, although her energy gain also isn't quite as good as Jean's. But again, cute healer, Viridescent, does provide an emo, can swirl, can shred, so a lot of good things going for her. And because she is an incredibly flexible unit, she can go in just about any team comp that you want. If you have a team that needs a healer and needs someone to shred resistances, Sayu is a great pick. A potentially fun team comp could be Sayu, Beidou, Fischl, and Jingqiu. The idea behind this team is that you make an electrocharge comp with Beidou, Fischl, and Jingqiu all using their off-field damage, and then you kind of roll around with Sayu's E while her Q's up doing more damage and swirling. Now, because this is a new account that I made, I don't have Fischl, Beidou, or Jingqiu to test, so I can't see if her roll affects those off-field damage supports. They might, they may not. We'll just have to test a little bit later, but if they do work, then it could be a really fun electrocharge comp. If not, then her auto attack is pretty cool. The animation is neat, but it doesn't deal a lot of damage, so I would not use her as a auto attack enabler. Anyways, those are my thoughts on Sayu, the cute little roly-poly raccoon ninja. This is just an initial impressions video. I'm sure more info about her will come to light as time goes on. But if you want to come by the stream and ask any questions, I stream Genshin Impact daily, so feel free to check me out. I am always happy to answer questions and go into any sort of theory crafting or ideas about how to build Sayu or what team she could be useful on. Thanks so much for watching. You guys have been awesome. I've been Shark, and as always, may order guide you.